What's up, everyone? It's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and in a move that we basically all saw coming a million miles away, albeit slightly different, but overall the same thing, the Resident Evil 2 fan remake, which is called Resident Evil 2 Reborn. I made some videos on it fairly recently in the past, but it's officially cancelled, despite having been slated by the developer Invader Games for release later this summer for free. Now, having said that, we all expected it to be a cease and desist letter from Capcom. It turns out it wasn't a cease and desist letter from Capcom. After Capcom saw the huge amount of support that this Resident Evil 2 fan remake was getting because they weren't giving us our Resident Evil 2 remake that we'd been asking for, what actually happened was Capcom saw that. They asked us for our opinion, whether we'd actually want one, a full remake that is, and they heard us say yes, and they heard our everything we were asking for, and they pitched it to the higher ups of Capcom, and it was greenlit, so we will have it eventually down the line. And because of that, Invader Games have actually cancelled their Resident Evil 2 remake. Now, like I said a second ago, the fact that they cancelled it wasn't because of a cease and desist order, but it turns out Capcom actually contacted Invader Games and invited them to, well, it's unclear on what their actual role would be, but it would be, they invited Invader Games to take part in some way, shape or form of the remake itself, probably get their input somehow. So here's what Invader Games had to say anyway. This English is not their native language, but it's pretty good English anyway. So there may be one or two slight mistakes, but I'm sure we can all figure it in there anyway. So here's what Invader Games had to say. Contrary to what might be thought, this is wonderful news for us. And as fans, we're so happy that Capcom has decided to take the lead of the project and to develop the remake awaited for years by everybody. Nobody could bring back to life the masterpiece of 1998 better than the creators themselves. Meanwhile, as developers, we're honored to announce that we've been officially invited to meet Capcom. Capcom called us up in advance of the announcement and asked us if we would mind stopping the project, as they had longer term plans for a Resident Evil 2 remake. They have invited us to a meeting to discuss further ideas. Even though we cannot complete the project of Resident Evil 2 Reborn, we're happy that what we've shown has achieved consensus. Yes, here it is, consents. It's not consensus. Has achieved consents from worldwide fans, and especially has been noticed from Capcom itself. We promise that work will be done until now. We promise that the work done until now will be useful for future projects. We won't disappoint you and our expectations. Thank you again for letting us to be where we are now, in spite of the long way that remains to be walked through. See, this is what I mean with their English. It's not great. We hope to focus soon on the bigger professional chance that we could get. So that's basically the main thing about that. So we all know Capcom has announced their official Resident Evil 2 remake from the ground up, developed by Capcom. So we're likely going to see that in a fair few amount of years. It wouldn't surprise me if it came out in 2017 at the earliest, maybe 2018 for a 20-year anniversary kind of thing. We'll see how that's a long time away, so we'll see how that goes anyway. But after that, it's nice to see that they actually are rewarding the independent game studio that's actually helped facilitate this, if you will. Because I don't think if Resident Evil 2 Reborn hadn't garnered the support that it had worldwide fairly recently, I don't think Capcom would have just caved in and done it. It just seems like they wouldn't. But I could be wrong, but we'll see how it goes anyway. So once again, I gotta say congrats to everyone in Invader Games and whatever your role will be in the actual official remake, be it consultant or working on something, or maybe just pitch in some ideas. Who knows? We'll see how it all goes a couple of years from now down the line, because I'm sure by then we'll have more official information from the Resident Evil 2 remake, both from Capcom and from Invader Games Studios' actual involvement in the project anyway. So let me know in the comment section below anything you think about the Resident Evil 2 remake, anything you think about how Capcom and Invader Games handled it, especially in, say, inviting them into the project. So I'm curious to see what everyone thinks of that. Anyway, let me know all that in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter, details in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the rest of the videos in my channel.